Explosions rocked the mud as Jonah Reeve clamped his fingers around the alien woman's wrist and yanked her limp body into the shell crater. Shrapnel pinged off rocks inches from his helmet. Her green blood sprayed in arcs from a gash in her thigh, soaking his gloves. He dropped to his knees beside her. The crater's lip shielded them from the worst of the barrage, but plasma rounds cracked the air above. Jonah ripped his belt free and cinched it above the wound. The flow slowed to a seep. "Hemostatic gauze," he shouted into his comm. "Vance, get your asses covering this hole." Her chitin-plated leg twitched. 4 clawed fingers flexed on her good hand. She wore no insignia, just battered combat armor like any frontline grunt. But her scales shimmered with an iridescent sheen no trooper Jonah had patched sported.
He tore open a gauze pack with his teeth, packed it hard into the artery.
The alien hissed through mandibles, eyes golden slits flaring wide. She grabbed his wrist with surprising strength.
"Easy," Jonah said. "You're not dying on my watch."
Plasma bolts scorched the crater rim. Human rifles chattered back from 50 meters out. Jonah's squad poured fire over the edge, but the aliens pressed closer. Their war cries echoed like grinding gears. "Let Vance," Jonah barked again. "Flank left, suppress those bugs." "Reeve, what the hell?" Vance's voice crackled over comm. "Abort and fall back. She's bleeding out. Cover me or we're all dead anyway." Jonah sealed the wound with a pressure bandage. Her pulse steadied under his fingers. Good, no time for IVs. The alien woman's mandibles clicked. She rasped words in her tongue, sharp consonants no translation chip caught it. Jonah ignored it. He checked her pupils, reactive.
No head trauma. Boots thudded above.
Alien troopers vaulted the rim, rifles leveled, 6 of them, carapace armor scarred from the fight. Their leader, a broad-shouldered captain with crimson chevrons, snapped his weapon at Jonah's chest. "Release the Queen." The captain's voice boomed through a translator, edged with fury. "Queen?" Jonah froze for a split second. Then he raised his hands, slow, empty palms out. His medkit lay open beside the woman. Now the Queen. No weapon in sight. "She's stable," Jonah said, arterial bleed clamped.
"You shoot me, she bleeds again."
The troopers hesitated. Their rifles trembled. The captain, Keth Varoon, his armor red, stepped forward. Eyes locked on Jonah. "You touch her further, I end you, fine. But your lines are crumbling. Human battalions pushing hard." Jonah nodded at the Queen. "She needs evac now." Shells whistled closer. The ground shook. Vance's voice cut in. "Reeve, sit rep. Sato's inbound. Hold that position." Captain Keth snarled. He scanned the Queen's leg, then Jonah's work. The gauze held firm, no fresh blood. "Why save her? Your kind slaughters ours."
Jonah shrugged. "She's bleeding."
That's the only rule that matters out here. More aliens crested the rim. Reinforcements. They formed a perimeter, but rifles stayed trained inward. Human fire slackened, then spiked again from the east. Vance's platoon maneuvered. The Queen stirred. She pushed up on one elbow, mandibles parting. "Keth, stand down." Her voice carried authority, even weak. Captain Keth knelt beside her, offering a gauntleted arm. She waved him off, golden eyes fixed on Jonah.
"Human medic?"
"Koppel, Jonah Reeve." He offered a hand. She gripped it, firm, claws retracted.
She tested the leg. Winced.
"You preserved my line." Plasma rounds zipped past. An alien trooper jerked back, smoking hole in his shoulder. Human shouts rose closer. "Commander Sato to all units," a new voice blared over open channel. "Reeve, confirm VIP. We're negotiating airlift. Hold fire." Sato.
"Battalion intel."
Jonah had crossed paths with him once. Cold eyes, always calculating angles. Captain Keth growled. "No human touches her, then she dies here." Jonah pointed at the advancing human lines. Smoke rose from alien positions. "Your troops are folding. Mine too." "Truce?" Keth's mandibles flexed. He glanced at Sail Wren.
She nodded once.
"Truce," Keth spat. "Evac her first." Jonah keyed his comm. "Vance, ceasefire on my mark. Alien VIP stable. They're covering us." "Queen." Vance's tone sharpened. "Sato's orders. Secure her alive. Confirm." "Confirmed." "Can you walk?" She tested weight on the leg. Gritted mandibles. "With aid." He slung her good arm over his shoulder. Her weight pressed heavy, scales cool against his neck. Keth flanked them, rifle ready. They climbed the crater lip under dual watches, human and alien rifles, tracking every move. Halfway up, a rocket streaked in. Jonah dove, shoving Sailrine flat. Dirt erupted beside them. Keth fired back, dropping a rogue alien sniper. Clear! Jonah hauled her up. They stumbled into no man's land. Vance's platoon emerged from cover, weapons low. Lieutenant Mara Vance strode forward, short-cropped hair under helmet, eyes scanning threats.
Reeve, you crazy bastard.
Sato's chopper inbound. Get her aboard. Sal Rin leaned on Jonah harder now. Your commander seeks me? Political gold, Jonah said. Alive, your leverage.
Captain Keth blocked Vance's path. She travels with my guard.
Vance's hand hovered near her sidearm. Negative. Our bird. Tension crackled. Jonah felt Sailrin's claws dig in. Not threat, but anchor. Enough. Salrin straightened. Human medic saved me. His commander gains my word. Parley. Keth bowed his head. As you command, my queen. Chopper rotors thumped in the distance. Sato's voice again. Reeve, escort secured. We're extracting. Jonah guided Sailrin toward the LZ. Vance fell in beside them. Keth mirroring on the flank. Alien troopers peeled back, covering retreat. Human fire shifted to alien rear guards. At the clearing, the dropship settled. Ramp dropping. Sato waited inside, lean, sharp, uniform, datapad glowing. Couple. Reeve, impressive field work. Queen Sailrin, your survival shifts fronts. She met his gaze. It shifts more. Your medic bent rules. Honor him. Sato's eyes flicked to Jonah. Noted. Board up. Jonah eased her onto a stretcher. Medtech swarmed, hooking monitors. Her vitals beeped steady. Keth lingered at the ramp. Human, you fight well. For an enemy. Not enemies today. Jonah stripped bloody gloves. Tell your queen, change that dressing in 6 hours. The ramp word shut. Engines roared. As the ship lifted, Jonah caught Sailrin's nod through the viewport. Respect, hard won. Below, lines reformed. But in that crater, something cracked open. Not peace. Alliance, maybe. Born from a belt and gauze. Vance clapped Jonah's shoulder. Sato's putting you in for medal. Or court-martial.
He grinned.
Worth it. Shells fell anew.
The war ground on, but Jonah knew. One life-patched fronts could bend. Jonah thrust his empty hands skyward, palms open against the smoke-choked sky. Hold fire. All sides. Weapons down for 10 seconds. She's bleeding out. Bullets whined past. Human rifles cracked from the ridge. Alien plasma bolts scorched the crater rim. Jonah knelt beside the fallen alien. Her iridescent armor cracked open across her chest. Purple blood welled from a ragged shrapnel gash. She gasped, mandibles twitching, her 4 eyes locking on his. Her guards, hulking figures in spiked plate, leveled rifles. One snarled through his visor translator. Human filth. Back from our queen. Not your call.
Jonah yanked his medkit open one-handed. 10 seconds.
Counted. Plasma hummed inches from his neck. The guard commander stepped forward. Captain Keth Varun by his armor sigils. Towering, scarred hide visible through faceplate slits. He gripped his rifle like a club. You die first, soft skin. Jonah ignored him. He slapped a trauma seal from his kit onto her wound. The smart gel foamed, hardening in seconds, staunching the bleed. Her breathing eased. He pressed a pulse reader to her armor's vital port. Green light blinked. Stable, barely. See that? Jonah pointed at the reader. Pulse steady. Keth's rifle barrel jammed under Jonah's chin. Cold metal bitskin. Prove your worth or join her in death. Heal her true, or I gut you here.
Human shouts echoed from the slope. Lieutenant
Mara Vance's voice cut through. Reeve, sit rep. Sato wants that VIP alive. Working at LT. Jonah kept his eyes on the queen. She was regal, even gutshot. Slender antenna quivering, claws flexing weakly. No crown, but her guard's deference screamed royalty. He injected a broad-spectrum stabilizer into her neck port. Alien biology charts flashed in his mind. Chitin compatible, no reactions logged. Keth pressed harder. My queen's life is mine to guard. Hand her over. Now. No handoff. Jonah stripped the seal's edge smooth. She's stable, but mobile covers a click east. You carry her like that? Move with me. The queen rasped, translator buzzing. Warrior trusts none. His eyes flicked to her wound. Sealed clean, no drip. Alien medtechs lagged sectors away in this meat grinder. Human rounds pinged off his pauldron. Vance crested the crater lip, squad fanning out. Reeve, extract now. Battalion's inbound. Sato says she's high value. Got her LT. Cover me. Jonah hooked his arms under the queen's shoulders. She weighed like a downed spar, dense muscle, light frame. He hauled her up, her good arm draping his neck. Lean in. We run. Keth snarled.
Insolence.
His claw snapped forward, seizing Jonah's collar. Fabric tore.
She moves only in my grip. Plasma scorched the dirt at Jonah's feet. Alien rearguard pushed up the slope, bolts lancing. Human Artie thumped closer. Sato's impatient hammer. Test me later. Jonah twisted free. Queen clutched tight. Cover fire, Vance! Vance's platoon unleashed. Muzzle flashes lit the haze. Keth bellowed orders. His guards formed a wedge, blasting their own flankers. Jonah staggered forward, Queen's blood slicking his grip. Her breath rasped hot against his ear. Alien scent like ozone and spice. Why? Risk? Anyone bleeding gets patched. He dodged a crater pothole. Queen or grunt? Keth matched stride, rifle sweeping. Your soft compassion breaks you. Warrior sees glory. Glory's overrated. Jonah vaulted a trench lip. Shells walked the ridge behind. Survival wins wars. She coughed, mandibles clicking approval. Her claw tightened on his shoulder. Not pain, grip. Vance flanked left, grenades arcing. LZ pinged, dropship Eta-2 mics. Alien bolts sizzled past Keth's helm. He returned fire one-handed, dropping the pursuer.
Human medic fights like clanborn.
Explain. Training, Jonah shouldered through brush. Branches whipped. And no one's left behind. Pursuit howled closer. Both armies converged. Humans to claim the prize. Aliens to reclaim their ruler. Sato's voice crackled in Jonah's earpiece. Reeves, secure and exfil. Political gold if she breathes. Copy. Jonah's legs burned. Queen's weight dragged, but her steps synced now. Half carried, half walking. Keth vaporized a human scout, zeroing them. Your commander hungers for her head. Intel says capture. Jonah lied smooth. Sato wanted leverage. Truth, medics didn't deliver corpses.
The queen murmured, Sailorin, my name. Remember it, healer.
Salrine. Jonah filed it. VIP confirmed. Hang tight. Gauze holds. Keth bellowed! Flankers left! His rifle chattered. Jonah pivoted, Queen shielded behind his bulk. A human burst skimmed his thigh. Hot graze, ignored. Vance's voice, suppressing. Push! They burst into a tree line. Dropship thrummed overhead, shadow sweeping. Ramp beacon flared. Keth halted at the edge. She boards with me. Jonah eased her toward the ramp. Medtechs waited, stretchers ready. Human bird. Safer. Sailorin twisted, eyes meeting Keth's. He sealed what you could not. Trust, for now. Keith's mandibles ground. Rifle lowered a fraction. Fail her human, and clans hunt eternal. Deal. Jonah handed her off to the techs. Monitors beeped. Vitals solid. Sail Rhine gripped his wrist. Debt owed. Jonah Reeve. He nodded. Ramp wind up. Engines spooled. Vance clapped his back. Crazy bastard. Sato's watching feeds. Says your promo gold. Shells thumped anew. Below Keth rallied his survivors, eyes locked on the lifting ship. Jonah stripped gloves. Bloodhurst his caked his hands. One patch job. Worlds shifted, but Artie walked closer. Sato crackled. Reeve, groundside. New objective. War ground on. Jonah grabbed his rifle. Compassion bought time. Alliance? That cracked open next. Keth's voice echoed faint through the comms hack. Human. We talk terms. Soon. Jonah grinned into the wind. Game changed. Plasma lanced up. Dropship banked hard. Sato's next ping. Reeve, she's stable. Battalion wants to brief, yesterday. Jonah shouldered into the hold. Queen Sailorin met his gaze across the bay. Nodded once. Hard-earned. Real. Vance slid beside him. Medal or court? Sato's call. Worth it. Jonah watched ground recede. Lines blurred below, not broken, bent. Keth's rear guard peeled fire. Mutual for seconds. Alliance sparked. Battlefield born, but shells fell. Race resumed. Jonah checked his kit. Next bleed waited. Saurin's vitals beeped steady. Her claw flexed. Ready, fronts would shift. One medic stand. Thumps in distance. Sato again. Reeve, escort secured. Jonah guided her toward the LZ proper. Vance fell in. Keth mirrored flank. troopers peeled back, covering. Fire shifted, clearing ahead. Dropship settled. Sato waited. Impressive. She spoke. Honor him. Board up. Stretchers hummed. Keth lingered. Fight well, enemy. Not today. Ramp shut. Lift off. Nod through viewport. Lines reformed. Crater patched. Something opened. Vance clapped. Metal. Court. Worth it. Shells anew. One life. Front bend. But Jonah knew. Compassion's edge cut deepest. Aliens stared longest at that. Keth's test passed. Queen's debt real. War? Paused. Not ended. Next wound called. Jonah moved. Plasma bolts scorched the air inches from Jonah's helmet. He ducked behind a shattered plasteel barricade. Queen Sailrin's stretcher gripped in one gloved hand. Her mandibled face twisted in pain, but her eyes locked on his, fierce, unyielding. Drones inbound 2 blocks out. Lieutenant Daler. Mara Vance barked over comms. She crouched beside him, rifle trained on the smoke-choked street. Reeve. Extraction windows shrinking. Sato's dropship can't punch through without a clear LZ. Jonah scanned the rubble. Crumbled habblocks to the left offered cover. A gutted tramline tunnel ahead promised shadow. Smoke from burning emitters billowed right, masking heat sigs. Through the tramline, he said. 50 meters east, then hook north to the rally point. Rubble hides us. Smoke scrambles their optics. Vance nodded once. Risky. Enemy lines reforming there. Worth it. Jonah slapped a fresh mag into his sidearm. No time for debate. He knelt by Sciolrin. Her leg wound pulsed green ichor. Shattered femur analog. Compound fracture. Alien physiology charts flashed in his mind. Chitin reinforced, but flexible webbing could stabilize. He yanked medkit foam and splints free. Hold still, your ma'am, she hissed but complied, claws flexing. Foam hissed out, hardening around the break. He bound it with polyweave straps torquing tight. Pain etched her features, but she grunted approval. Harness next. Cord webbing from his pack, looped it under her shoulders, crossed at hips, tied off to his tack vest D-rings. Improvised drag rig. Battlefield classic. Tested the pull. Solid. On my mark, we move. Vance, suppress left flank. Whirring grew louder. Drones? 6 of them, saucer-shaped, red sensors piercing the haze. Their beams swept buildings, hunting biosigns.
Power emitters, Jonah snapped. He rolled to a nearby junction box, plasma cutter blazing.
Sparks flew. He severed conduits to the streetlights and hollow ads. Lights died. Thermal signatures dropped. Smoke now their ally, blending body heat into the inferno. Drones faltered, sensors flickering. One peeled off, scanning blind.
Vance fired. Bolt punched through a drone's core.
It spiraled into rubble, exploding. Go. Jonah hauled the harness. Sailrin slid across gravel, smooth despite her bulk. He dragged her into the tramline shadow, Vance covering. Boots pounded behind alien guards. Captain Keth Faroon loomed from the smoke, his armored form scarred and hulking. 2 of his elite flanked him, pulse rifles humming. Human, Keth growled, voice like grinding gravel through translator. You lead, we test. Shona didn't break stride. Test later. Move or die. He pulled Salrin deeper into the tunnel. Darkness swallowed them. Faint glow from her bioluminescent veins lit the path, eerie blue veins pulsing with her heartbeat. Keth signaled. His 2 guards fell in, matching Jonah's pace exactly. One scanned rear, the other forward. No chatter. Disciplined, shells whistled overhead. Human arty dueling alien counter-battery. Ground shook.
Dust sifted from the ceiling. Flankers closing, Vance reported.
Her HUD pinged red contacts. Enemy infantry probing. Jonah gritted teeth. Salrein's weight dragged, but adrenaline surged. He navigated a collapsed section, heaving her over debris.
Her claw gripped his arm. Pain or thanks? Hard to tell.
Keth matched every step. Why save her? Prisoner value? Treat the bleed, Jonah grunted. Human rule. He fired blind around a corner, dropping a scuttling drone repair bot. Rule bends warriors. She leads us.
You risk all. Plasma grazed Jonah's pauldron.
He dove, dragging Sailrine behind a derailed car husk. Vance returned fire, dropping 2 alien grunts in iridescent armor. Guards engaged seamlessly. One hurled a plasma grenade. Blast shredded pursuers. Keth's shots precise, conserving ammo. Appreciate the assist, Jonah said. Keth's mandibles clicked. Pace holds. Debt tallies. They burst from the tunnel. Rally point loomed, smoke-shrouded clearing, Sato's dropship idling on thrusters, ramp down. Human Marines held perimeter, laying suppressing fire, but enemy armor rumbled. A light tank crested rubble, turret swiveling. Sato's voice crackled. Reeve, status, we extract VIP or abort. Hold! Jonah yelled. He cut loose the harness, hoisted Sailren fireman's carry, her weight crushing but medrig servos whined assistance. Legs pumped, guards flanked tight. Tank fired. Shell airbursted short, shrapnel pinging. Vance tossed a breaching charge. Boom, tank treads locked. Jonah hit the ramp at sprint. Marines hauled Sailren inside, slamming medgel over her wounds. He collapsed against bulkhead, chest heaving. Kethan guards piled in last. Ramp, whined, shut. Thrusters roared. Sailren stirred on stretcher. Her eyes found Jonah. Human Reeve. You fight as kin. He checked her vitals. Stable green, just doing the job. Keth sheathed blade. Test passed. Guard honors pact.
He nodded to his troops.
They stood sentinel by her side. Vance slid next to Jonah.
Seta's inbound.
Political gold mine. But Keth's boys? They match us step for step. Ground receded. Battle lines blurred. Not shattered. Alien rearguard peeled off covering fire. Mutual. Fleeting.
Sato boarded mid-flight. Tablet glowing. Reeve. Debrief.
Battalion claims her. Leverage for armistice talks. Salrein's claw flexed. Talk terms. Soon. Jonah grinned. Game on. Dropship banked hard. Plasma lanced past. Sato pinged. Stable. Wants her yesterday. Jonah shouldered into hold proper. Sailrein met his gaze. Nodded. Vance clapped shoulder. Metal or quart. Worth it. Shells fell distant, fronts bent.
Keth lingered at ramp. Fight well, not enemy.
Not today. Lift off. Nods exchanged. Crater patched below.
Something opened. Troops stared at the medic who dragged their queen through hell.
Alien's longest. Compassion's edge. War paused. Next bleed called. But Jonah checked Kit. Vitals beeped steady. Her claw ready. Alliance sparked. Battlefield born. Enemy drones swept again. Far off. Pursuit raced. Satu eyed Keth. Escort secured. Jonah guided toward medbay. Vance fell in. Guards mirrored. Fire shifted.
Clearing held. Impressive, Sailren rasped.
Honor him, Keth added. Stretchers hummed. Board up. Lines reformed. Shells anew. One life saved. Fronts bend deeper. Jonah knew. Humans patched wounds. Aliens saw gods. Debt real. War. Thumps echoed. Next stand waited. Plasma scorched hull. Alarms blared. Bandits, pilot yelled. Enemy fighters vectored in. Jonah strapped down. Rifle ready. Kath grinned fangs. Together? Jonah nodded. Pace matches. Dropship dove. Turret guns barked. Human and alien synced. Alliance tested. Ah. Queen's eyes gleamed. Lead on, medic. He did.
Evasion twisted, G-forces crushed.
Missile lock wailed. Vance, countermeasures. Flares bloomed. Fighters streaked past. Sato. LZ hot.
Marines inbound. Ramp cracked.
Wind howled. Jonah hauled stretcher. Guards lifted opposite. Double time down ramp. Marines covered. Enemy squad charged. Aliens? Her own kind? Traitors? Keth roared challenge. Blades flashed. Guards carved path. Jonah fired med pistol. Stun rounds dropping flank. Jonah squeezed the med pistol's trigger. Stun rounds cracked out, blue arcs slamming into the traitor's flanks. Two aliens crumpled, twitching. Keth's guards pressed forward. Blades sliced air. Enemy screams cut short. Clear! Vance barked from the ramp. Jonah hauled the stretcher's end. Marines laid down suppressive fire. Plasma bolts scorched dirt nearby. They burst into the field medbay tent. Canvas flaps slammed shut behind. Guards fanned out, rifles up. Jonah dropped to one knee beside the stretcher. Queen Sailrein's chest rose shallow. Vitals monitor beeped erratic, pulse thready, pressure crashing. Blood pooled under her, not clotting. Her species biology rejected human field coagulants. Ivy kit. Jonah snapped to the corpsman hovering nearby.
A kid tossed it over. Jonah ripped the seal.
Tourniquet snapped around her upper arm, scaled tougher than synth leather. Needle pierced vein. Dark blood flashed back into the line. He taped it secure.
Run compatibility, Jonah ordered. He grabbed reagent vials from his pack.
Injected one into the drip line. Indicator strip glowed yellow. Partial match. 60%. The corpsman read. Risky.
Better than 0.
Jonah cranked the flow. Saline flushed in. Her pressure ticked up. Radio crackled. Sato's voice. Reeve, sedate her. Bag and transport. She's an asset now.
Jonah ignored it, focused on her torso wound.
Primary patch held, but a secondary seeped from her flank. Sailrin's claw twitched toward her blade. Jonah pinned it gentle. Easy. You're safe. Her eyes cracked open. Gold slits locked on his hand. Royal cadence laced her growl, translated choppy through his helmet feed. Release. My guard. Kef stepped closer, fangs bared. He saved you, Majesty. Let him work. Sato burst through the flap. Reeve.
Sedate the bitch. Jonah didn't look up.
Cautery pen ignited with a hiss. He pressed it to the flanked bleed. Flesh sizzled. Smoke curled acrid. Her body arched. Claws gouged the stretcher. But the bleed sealed. She's crashing without this, Jonah said flat. Your asset evaporates. Your asset evaporates. Sato's jaw clenched. She's enemy high value. Intel says queen tier. Jonah wiped sweat, swapped reagent vials. Albumin booster. Drip stabilized. Vance entered behind Sato. LZ secure, but pursuit inbound. We lift in 2.
Kef loomed over Sato. You touch her without consent, human, and procedures mean nothing.
Sato eyed the guard's blade, backed off a step. Fine. Stabilize for evac. But she rides under our lock. Jonah checked vitals. Pressure holding. She's stable enough. Sailrine's gaze stayed on Jonah. You deny your superior. Her voice strengthened, accent thickening the translation. For one not your kin. Anyone bleeding gets patched. Jonah packed his kit. Kin or not. She rasped a laugh. Claws retracted. Curious creed. Alarms wailed outside. Drones incoming. Move. Vance yelled. Guards lifted the stretcher. Jonah grabbed the IV pole. They double-timed out. Marines formed wedge. Plasma fire stitched the sky. Dropship idled. Ramps down. Enemy squad crested the ridge. More traitors. Her own carapace patterns. Rocket streaked. Keth roared. Guards charged. Blades met armor in clashes. Dropped one, aiming at the stretcher. Salren twisted. Grabbed her discarded pistol. Fired one-handed. Traitor heads exploded.
Inside!
Jonah pushed. They piled aboard. Ramps whined shut. Engines thrummed. Pilot banked hard. G-forces pinned them. Sato strapped in opposite. Once airborne, full restraints.
Kef snarled. Try it!
Jonah knelt by Sail Rhine, monitored the line. Pressure good, no bleed. Her claw gripped his wrist. Strength surprised him. Medic. Your name. Reeve. Corporal Jonah Reeve. And Sel Rhine of Clan Eternal Perm. She released. Eyes flicked to Sato. He sees prize. You see patient. Jonah nodded. Difference. Missile lock screamed. Counterflares popped. Ship shuddered. Vance gripped overhead. Bandits shaking. ETA to fleet 10 mics. Kef leaned in. Your compassion, it bends wars, human. Just doing the job. Jonah adjusted the drip. Reagent held, no rejection. Sail Rhine watched him work. My blood defies your gels. Yet you adapt. Field rule, improvise.
He scanned her with portable bio-unit, organs mapping, multi-chambered heart, auxiliary lungs.
Human meds pushed limits. Radio buzzed. Sato's battalion net. Asset secured. Prep interrogation bay. Jonah keyed his private channel to Vance. She's VIP. Needs full med scan, not a cell. Vance glanced over. Sato's calling shots. But by time, ship lurched. Enemy fighters buzzed past. Turret guns, human and alien manned, tracked and fired in sync. Keth nailed a wing. Wreckage trailed fire. Nice shot, Jonah said. Pace matches. Keth grinned. Sailrin's color returned. Scales gleamed under medlights. My guards owe you debt. Debts mutual.
Sato! Interrupted!
Sato interrupted. Reeve, trank her now. That's final. Jonah stood. Faced him. Touch this line, you kill her. Court-martial me after. Tension crackled. Guards' hands twitched to hilts.
Marines shifted.
Stand down, Sato. Sato glared. Sat back. Your funeral. Ship dove into clouds. Pursuit faded. Jonah resumed checks. Secondary bleed site. Dry. Clotting kicked in. His cautery bridged the gap. Sail Ran murmured. Warrior ruler rarely yields field. Eyes pierced his.
But you command respect without rank.
Save lives first. Rank sorts later. Keth nodded approval. Honor him, Majesty. She inclined head. Honor granted. Fleet beacons pinged. Dropship aligned for bay. But scopes lit red. Ambush, pilot yelled. Trader corvette, point blank. Hatches blue. Boarding pods slammed hull. Vance unstrapped. Repel, guard surged up. Keth led. Jonah shielded the stretcher, rifle in hand. Sorine sat up, gripped her pistol. Fight with me, medic. He nodded. Fired through hatch breach. Stun rounds dropped the first boarder.
Her shot vaporized the next.
Keth bellowed back.
They hunt the queen!
Plasma scorched bulkhead inches away. Jonah dragged her behind cover crate. IV line taut. Stay down, he ordered.
She fired over.
Never. Marines poured fire. Aliens carved borders. Sato finally joined fray. His shots precise. One traitor lunged at the crate. Jonah stunned it midair. Sullivan's claw clamped his shoulder. Together. Ship rocked. Explosions outside. Fleet countermeasures. Borders broke. Last one gutted by Keth.
All clear, Vance reported. Jonah checked her.
Line intact. Vitals solid. Bay doors hissed. Fleet med team rushed in. Satu waved them off. Secure the asset. No. Sail Rhine rose, unsteady but regal. Guards flanked her. I walk with my healer. Eyes on Jonah. Command clear. Packed it. Alliance tempers forged. Vance eyed Sato. Mission adapts. Sato scowled but yielded. They debarked into hangar light. Human Marines saluted. Alien guards stood tall. Fleet alarms quieted, but scopes pinged distant, pursuit fleets massing. One life patched. Front shifted. War evolved. S-plasma bolts ripped through the convoy's flank. Jonah dove over Solrin's stretcher. Shrapnel pinged off his helmet. The med truck shuddered, tires screeching as the driver swerved. Enemy infantry poured from the ridge, cloaked figures in jagged armor, rifles spitting violet fire. Ambush, Jonah yelled. He yanked the stretcher's restraint straps tight. Sailrin's eyes snapped open, claws flexing around her pistol. Blood seeped through her fresh bandages. The wound had reopened in the debark chaos. Marines returned fire from the lead APCs. Explosions bloomed ahead. The convoy ground to a halt, vehicles jackknifed across the rutted warpath. Jonah's truck slewed sideways. He gripped his rifle. Stun rounds chambered. No kills today, not if he could help it. Sail Rhine coughed. They sent me. Her voice rasped, regal even in pain. Stay flat. Jonah fired out the open side. A cloaked shooter dropped, twitching. More advanced. Blaster fire chewed the truck's frame. The engine whined and died. Pinned, Jonah pressed his medkit against her side wound, stemming the fresh bleed. Her blood slicked his gloves. Hot, viscous, alien. Vitals monitor beeped erratic. Heart rate spiking. Keth Faroon bellowed from the nearest APC. Protect the queen. His royal guards fanned out. Plasma lances carving suppression arcs. Lieutenant Vance's voice crackled over Jonah's comm. Medic actual report. We're bottled. Got the VIP stable? Jonah grunted. But pinned hard. Flankers on the ridge. The lead APC erupted in flames. Wreckage flipped end over end, slamming down 20 meters ahead. An overturned hulk. Perfect cover, if they reached it. Sailrin gripped his arm. Go. Leave. Jonah slung his rifle. He hooked one arm under the stretcher, the other around her torso. Muscles burned. On 3. He heaved. Enemy fire intensified. Bolts scorched the dirt inches from his boots. He dragged her across the gap, stretcher skidding. 20 feet. A round clipped his pauldron. Pain flared, but he kept moving. They tumbled behind the APC's smoking chassis. Jonah wedged the stretcher against its underbelly.
He ripped open a fresh pressure pack, slamming it over her wound.
Breathe steady. Seals holding. She nodded, pistol raised. Fired blind over the wreck. An enemy scream cut short. Keth charged forward, guards in wedge formation. They laid plasma curtains, forcing heads down.
Human, signal your lines.
Jonah risked a glance. Vance's platoon hunkered 50 meters back, Marines trading shots. He flashed hand signals, universal mil-spec. Enemy strength left, push right, hold center. Keth caught it, barked orders in guttural alien tongue. His guards pivoted, lances roaring. Vance's voice hit calm. Copy that, medic. Coordinating fire. Marines surged. Human rifles barked kinetic slugs. Precise, relentless.
The ridge flank crumbled. Bodies tumbled down.
Sailrin's vitals steadied. Jonah checked the IV line, kinked but flowing. He patched a micro tear in her lung seal with biofoam. You're tough. Most would be out. Queens endure.
She scanned him. You bend rules for the bleeding.
Rare trait. Everyone bleeds the same. Jonah popped a stim tab under his tongue. Adrenaline surged. He leaned out, stunned two flankers creeping close. Sato's voice cut through comm static. All units. Intel confirms VIP priority. Calling orbital strike on Ridge Grid 4.
7. Evac now.
Jonah's gut twisted. Grid 4, 7 overlapped their position by 30 meters. Strike radius would vaporize the APC. And sail Rhine. No strike, he barked. Patient critical.
Too close, negative, Corporal. Asset secured means controlled.
Execute evac or burn. Sato's tone iced over.
Mission first. Political value.
Sailrin's eyes locked on Jonah. Trust raw in her gaze. He ripped the comm line from his helmet jack. Sparks flew. Sato's voice died mid-protest. Traitor to chain, Kef snarled, spotting the cut line as he vaulted the wreck. Traitor to the patient.
Jonah, reloaded. Strike hits us too.
Kef paused. Claws flexed. Then nodded. Prove it in blood. Enemy counterfire redoubled. A rocket screamed in, slammed the ridge but short. Shrapnel rained. Jonah shielded Sailrin, fragments shredding his backplate. Vance's platoon broke through center. Pushing! Keth's guards flanked right. Jonah fired support, stuns dropping runners. Sailrin added plasma bursts, precise despite pain. The ridge fell silent. Smoke curled. Bodies littered the slope, human rounds punching armor, alien lances melting it. But scopes pinged.
Heavy engines growl distant.
Pursuit armor inbound. Jonah hauled Sailrin up. Can you move? She stood, leaning on him. Pistol ready. Keth waved forward. Convoy reforms. Double time. Vance jogged up, rifle hot. Nice signals. Reeve. Sato's screaming bloody murder on battalion net. Let him. Jonah supported Sailrin toward the surviving trucks. Her weight pressed close. Trust earned in fire. Sato burst from a command skiff, face thunderous. Reeve, you cut orders? Orders that kill the patient? Jonah met his eyes. She's stable. War needs her alive. Sato jabbed a finger. She's leverage. Battalion wants. Sailrin straightened. Voice cut like crystal. Leverage walks with the merciful. Guards closed ranks around her, and Jonah. Keth grinned fangs. Human tempers steel alliances. Vance holstered her sidearm. Convoy rolls. Adapt, Commander. Sato scowled. Climbed aboard without another word. Trucks revved. The reformed convoy lurched forward. Marines and guards intermingled on perimeter. Jonah rode shotgun on Sailrin's truck, rifle scanning scopes. Her claw rested on his shoulder, light but firm. Distant booms echoed. Pursuit closed. Orbital chatter spiked. Sato's strike rerouted but not forgotten. Sailrin leaned close. Your compassion. It shames warriors. Just doing the job.
Jonah adjusted her bandage. Bleeding's the great equalizer.
She chuckled, pained but genuine.
Keth signaled from ahead. Ridge ambush cleared, but scopes lit up anew.
Enemy heavies. Tanks. By the thermal blooms. 2 clicks and closing. Flankers inbound. Jonah called. Hand signaled Vance. Armor right. Dismount infantry. She nodded. Trucks peeled left into broken terrain. Marines bailed, forming skirmish lines. Alien guards anchored heavies. First tank crested. Hulking. Quad-barreled. Plasma belched. Jonah shoved Sailrin down. Truck rocked. Incoming Keth's lance team charged. Human ATGM streaked. Boom. Tank flipped. But more crested. Firefight reignited. Sailrin gripped her pistol. Together again. Jonah nodded. Fired. Stuns for infantry. Meds for her. Vance yelled. Hold the line! Sato on his skiff finally vectored drones. Strikes bloomed safe. Far ridge. Pursuit stalled. Convoy punched through. Hours blurred. Night fell. They hit Allied lines. Human forward base fused with alien outpost. Medbay lights glared. Jonah wheeled Sail Rhine in. Fleet docks waited, but she waved them back.
You.
Her command brooked no argument. He hooked fresh IV, sealed the wound proper. Vitals green-lined. Keth stood guard. You saved her line. Ours now honors yours. Vance entered. Sato's reamed, but Brass loves the angle. Alliance talks inbound. Sail Rhine clasped Jonah's hand, claw to palm. Keth's gauntleted hand slammed the release on Sail Rhine's chest plate. Bioluminescent royal insignia pulsed across her underarmor, a crowned talon etched in iridescent scale. Jonah froze mid-suture. Queen? The alien guards dropped to knees. Foreheads touched deck plating. Chants rumbled low, reverent. Up, Jonah barked. Stop bowing and start carrying. Elevate her legs, now.
He jabbed fingers at 2 guards. You, plasma burns on that flank kit.
Clamp it here. They scrambled. Jonah sealed the insignia panel shut. No time for pageantry. Vitals flickered, heart rhythm dipping. He pumped stabilizer. Queen or not, she's crashing if we gawk. Sail Rhine's eyes snapped open. Claws tightened on his wrist. Medic Reeve. Voice like grinding gravel, but steel-edged. Status. Stable. Wound. Sealed. But you're not moving till I say. Jonah yanked a scanner over her torso. Purple blood clotted clean under synth skin. Took a stunner round and shrapnel. Lucky it missed vitals. She pushed up on elbows. Guards tensed. Keth blocked them with an arm. My queen. Silence, Keth. Salren swung legs off the gurney. Armor plates clanked. Comms.
Now. A guard slapped the wrist unit into her palm.
She activated it. Projection bloomed. Holo of swirling battle lines. Human blue, alien gold, enemy red pushing flanks. All commands. Ceasefire corridors. 5-click buffers, marked now. Pauses gripped channels. Confirmations flooded back.
She killed the feed.
Turned to Jonah. You are under my protection, human medic Jonah Reeve. No blade, no bolt touches you without my word. Your name echoes in my houses. Jonah taped the last bandage. Appreciated. But protection's mutual. Stay down.
He glanced at door.
Boots thudded outside. Human voices rose, sharp, urgent.
Surfacer event. Burst in.
Rifle slung, eyes scanning aliens first. Reeve, report. Behind her, Commander Halden Sato shoved through. Battalion intel chevrons gleamed. Drones hummed at his belt. 2 human marines flanked him, stunners hot. Patient stable, Jonah said. Queen Sail Rhine, VIP extraction complete. Sato's gaze locked on the alien. Queen. He stepped forward. Commander Sato, Human Expeditionary Force. We need her secured. Intel value, Sail Rhine rose fully. Towered over Sato, even wounded.
Keth and gods formed a wall.
I secure myself, and my medic. Tension crackled. Sato's hand twitched to comms. Marines raised stunners a hair. Alien guards hissed, claws flexing. Vance slid between them, planted herself at Jonah's shoulder. Stand down, Commander. Reeves got her green. She's named him Protected. We honor that.
Lieutenant, this is battalion level.
She's leverage. Alliance talks or not, we control the asset. Asset? Salren's pistol cleared holster in a blur, leveled at Sato's chest. I am Sail Rhine, 3rd Talon of the Virek Dominion. You breathe because my medic willed it. Keth's lance ignited, plasma lances humming. Jonah stepped into the line of fire. Hands up, empty. Weapons down. All of you. Queen, he's protocol. Holster. To Sato. She's stable because I treated her like any bleed-out, not a bargaining chip. Vance nodded sharp. Commander, Brass is en route. They want talks, not a firefight in Medbay. Reeves' call stands.
Back off. Sato glared.
Marines hesitated. Outside, alien troops massed at doors, rifles trained. Human squads mirrored them across the bay. One wrong twitch, and it blew. Sato exhaled. Holstered his sidearm. Fine. Provisional custody, but intel debriefs her first. Sail Rhine lowered pistol. Claws sheathed. Debrief is mutual. Your victories today, tanks felled, flanks held. We share lines. She extended claw hand to Vance. Rare. Vans gripped it. Firm. Your guards anchored our heavies. Mutual. Jonah checked Sail Rhine's vitals again. Steady green. Queen. Rest bays prepped. Full scan. Duty first. Assemble honor guard. Escort medic Reeve to forward command.
He briefs with me. Keth saluted.
Claws to chest, as commanded. Guards moved. 2 peeled off to shadow Jonah. Sato scowled but stepped aside. Vance shot Jonah a look. Good work. Hold steady. Jonah grabbed his medkit. Slung it, followed, sail Rhine. Out. Medbay doors parted to chaos. Human trucks revving, alien skimmers hovering. Ceasefire corridors glowed on tack holos, blue-gold lines holding enemy red at bay. Troops from both sides watched. Whispers rippled. The Queen walks. With the human. Forward command tent loomed ahead. Canvas flaps guarded by mixed sentries. Inside, hollow tables flickered. Human brass linked in via drone feed. Alien warlords projected scaled faces stern. Salarin strode center. Jonah at her flank. Keth opposite. Sato and Vance trailed. Status. A human colonel barked from hollow. Lines hold, Salrine said. Thanks to this human. Claw pointed Jonah. Medic Reeve dragged me from fire. Sealed my wounds under barrage. He bends no knee to rank. Treats queens as soldiers. Colonel's hollow nodded. Reeve. Solid work. Alien warlord rumbled.
Human compassion.
Unknown to us. Virak, die for Talon mates. This one. Saves enemy.
Not enemy, Jonah cut in, bleeding.
He tapped scanner data to central hollow wound schematics bloomed. Shrapnel paths, stabilizer chem bonds. Her physiology, coagulants aggressive. Matched it with our gels. Vitals prove it. Aliens leaned in. Warlord spines flared. Your science adapts. Sato pushed forward. Commander Sato, we propose joint custody. Sail Rhine overrode.
No. Reeve stays free.
Protected. In return, we share ridge scans.
Enemy heavies massing east. She flicked data. Red blooms shifting.
Colonel grunted approval. Accepted. Reeve, your liaison med. Embedded with her Talon. Jonah nodded. No argument. Copy. Vance clapped his shoulder.
Out of sight. Talks accelerated.
Corridors expanded. Patrols synced. Human drones over alien lances. Enemy probes shattered on unified fire. Hours ground on. Jonah patched a human marine stunner backlash. Then an alien guard. Claw fracture from tank breach. Salrin watched from throne chair.
Bleeding's universal.
Jonah wiped hands. Your turn for full med scan. No dodging. She rose. Agreed. Claw to his shoulder. Gentle. U-turn tide human. Keth approached. Salrin's eyes hardened. Reeve. With me? Jonah grabbed Kit. They moved out. Convoy revving. Mixed crews manned guns. Human ATGMs beside alien plasma. Ridge loomed. Scouts skittered. Multi-limbed, cloaked. Fire lanced. Jonah dropped beside Sailrine. Scanner out. Flank wound reopening. Minor. She fired. Dropped 2. Fight first. He nodded. Stunner cracked. Scouts fell. Buffer held. Scouts routed. Back at command. Hollow updated. Enemy retreating. Full assault blunted. Sailrine clasped Jonah's hand again. Gunfire stitched the crater rim. Jonah slammed his field kit open beside the alien queen. Her iridescent scales cracked open along her flank. Blood thick. Violet pumped in sync with her labored breaths. He slapped a tourniquet clamp above the gash, ignoring the plasma bolts sizzling past. Hold still, he growled. This seals or you bleed out. Salrin's multifaceted eyes locked on him. Her clawed hand gripped his shoulder plate, not crushing. Human, why save enemy? Bleeding doesn't check IDs. Jonah threaded the autosuture, nanites whirring as they knit ruptured vessels. Enemy drones buzzed closer, her troops' roars echoing from the ridge. His platoon held the line 200 meters back, pinned by alien lances. No time for evac. She grunted, mandibles clicking. Pain furrowed her crest. Jonah synced his scanner to her biology, adapting on the fly, cross-referencing xenovitals from the database, heart analog steadying. Coagulant deployed. He injected the broad-spectrum stabilizer, final dose before surgical handoff. Stable, he said, wiping violet smear from his gloves. Full bay needed for internals. Sail-Ren pushed up on one elbow. Her voice boomed, carrying over the din. Talons! Cease fire on the humans. Escort Reeves' unit clear. No prisoners. Her warriors, hulking Talon figures in segmented armor, froze mid-charge. one snarled, claws flexing. Queen, obey. Her crest flared crimson. They pivoted, plasma vents cooling, forming a wedge toward Jonah's pinned squad. Jonah keyed his comm. Vance, hold fire. Escort incoming. She's buying us out.
Static crackled.
Mara Vance's voice cut sharp. Reeve, confirm. We're ammo low. Enemy heavies inbound east. Calmer. Form. Jonah stood hauling his kit. Sail Wren rose beside him, favoring the sealed wound. Her height dwarfed him. 2 meters of coiled muscle and chitin plating. Captain Kef Varun stalked forward from her ranks, optic implants glowing. His blade gauntlets hummed. Human, Keth rumbled. Voice filtered gravel. You touch Queen.
Saved her.
Halden Sato's confiscated communit from his belt, snatched earlier when Sato's intel shuttle crashed nearby. He tossed it to the liaison, who emerged from cover rubbing wrists. Yours. No more games. Sato caught it, eyes narrowing. Political gold here. We secure her. She's walking. Jonah cut him off, facing Keth and Vance, who double-timed up with the platoon. Mara gripped her carbine tight, scanning alien flanks. Lieutenant? Captain. We need an exchange corridor, 50 meters wide, ridge to our lines. Her troops escort us out. We cover rear from enemy.
Keth's implants whirred, scanning Jonah's vitals.
You presume command, soft skin? Presume sense. Jonah tapped his scanner readout, projecting hollow of enemy massing, multi-limbed skitterers with beam lances.
Heavy's hit in 10.
United fire holds them. Split. We die. Mara eyed Sailrun's wound, then Jonah. Risky. But your call saved her. Corridor it is. Platoon, wedge left. Keth hesitated, claws twitching.
Sailrun nodded once. Granted.
Talent 3 form buffer. Human weapons sync to our net. Aliens and humans shuffled into line. Carbines beside plasma lances. Stunners flanking vibro claws. Drones zipped overhead. Mixed human quadcopters and alien scarabs. First enemy scouts crested the ridge, cloaks shimmering.
Contact!
Jonah yelled, dropping to a knee. His stunner barked, dropping a lead skitterer in convulsing heap. Sailrin fired beside him, plasma bolt vaporizing 2 more. Keth cleaved a flanker mid-leap, blade spraying Iker. Corridor held. Platoon pushed through. Mara's Marines patching an alien with quick clot as they went. Sato murmured into his comm. Battalion, we have VIP secured. Alliance vector forming. Explosions rocked the flanks. Enemy heavies lumbered in, towering beetle forms with railguns. Human ATGMs streaked from rear lines, cracking carapaces. Alien counter-battery plasma arced, melting treads. Jonah covered Sailrun's limp as they cleared the ridge. Her color returned, but fatigue dragged. Medevac prepped, he said. Your surgeons inbound? She halted at the split lines, her troops fanning out. Humans and aliens stood shoulder to shoulder, breaths sinking. Keth saluted her with crossed claws. Mara nodded to Jonah. Rare approval. Sailrin raised her voice, crest blazing full spectrum. All fire ceased. Ear talons and allies. This human, Corporal Jonah Reeve, claimed my life from death's grip, without kin debt or glory.
I, Sailrin, first Talon of the Virkith, pledge oath to his name.
Harm him, and my wrath follows. Share scans, hold lines. The enemy breaks on our unity.
Cheers erupted, human whoops mixing alien roars.
Keth knelt, fist to chest. Oath-bound, Queen. Mara clapped Jonah's pauldron.
Hell of a medic, Reeve.
Sato grinned. Hollow updating with alien ridge data. Political shift. Battalion copies. Jonah met Sailrun's gaze. Her claw grasped his forearm. Firm, equal. You bind fates, Reeve. Violet blood still flecked his gloves.
He nodded. Just doing the job.
Med shuttles screamed in, alien bays unfolding beside human dropships. Jonah handed her off to her surgeons, their probes humming over the seal. She waved him back to his platoon. But as engines flared, enemy counter-battery lit the horizon. Heavies regrouped. Keth's voice barked over shared net. Reeve. Queen requests embed. Your skill turns tides. Jonah grabbed his kit. Vance signaled ready. Sato patched command. Corridor expanded. Patrols meshed. Hours blurred. Jonah stitched a Marine stunner burn, then splinted an alien's fractured claw from tank breach. Sailrin observed from her throne chair. Post-op scans green. You treat all, she said. Bleeding's universal. Jonah wiped hands. Your turn cleared. No dodging next scan.
She rose, claw gentle on his shoulder.
You turn tide, human.
Keth interrupted. Queen, enemy counterscouts and buffer. Her eyes hardened. Reeve, with me. Jonah shouldered Kit, mixed convoy revved. Human ATGMs beside alien plasma. Ridge loomed again. Scouts skittered, cloaked limbs flashing. Fire lanced. Jonah dropped by sail Rhine, scanner out. Flank holding, minor. She dropped 2 with precise shots. Fight first. Scouts crumpled. Buffer secured. Back at command, hollow bloomed victory. Enemy retreated. Assault blunted. Sailrin clasped Jonah's hand once more, but alarms wailed anew.
Massive signatures, Keth reported. Enemy Queen unit inbound.
They know of you, Reeve. Her grip tightened. Jonah felt the weight, not just of one life, but armies realigning around his choice. 2 wars now danced to a medic's beat.